We'll go to the topic. Here the airway resistance, and we can say that, and definition, the airway resistance is a ratio of driving pressure to the rate of airflow in airways in the human system. The most frequent methods are used to measure airway resistance are whole body plethysmography. Second one is interrupter techniques. Third one is forced oscillation techniques. So now we are seeing that airway resistance denoted by letter or suffix AW, which is equal to fractional pressure del P divided by, and fractional volume del VOL multiplied by del VOL divided by del V dash, that is a differential volume, which is equal to del P, that is a change in pressure in alveoli divided by change in volume in atmosphere, that is in the chamber. So here first one diagram indicates the alveoli pressure denoted by del P suffix ALV, and the chamber pressure is del P, and here the measurement at cage is called, that is pressure gauge del P suffix box, and when the person who breathing, that time there is a airflow inside the lungs. So here that is changes the alveolar pressure. So with the help of that one they are finding out the airway resistance. Here the airway resistance measurement we can find with the help of whole body plethysmography. Second one is interrupter techniques. Third one is forced oscillation techniques. So the formula for airway resistance, which is equal to the alveolar pressure at the actual rate minus atmospheric pressure in a centimeter H2O. Usually alveolar pressure, it will vary from one alveoli to another alveoli, and atmospheric pressure is 76 mmHg divided by velocity of airflow. The what is the airflow velocity inside the lung, which is the unit is liter per minutes. So these formula we are going to calculate airway resistance at the last slide. So the method of finding the airway resistance, there is some method we can use. One is a pressure flow method, second one is interrupter method, third one is a plethysmography method. So pressure flow method is a tedious method, interrupter method is also somewhat a complicated method, and plethysmography method is an easy method to measure the airway resistance. So here the plethysmography method, we can find one is a lung capacity as well as a airway resistance. Both the parameter we can easily find out. So here first we will discuss about pressure flow method. So you are seeing the diagram in respiratory system, lungs. So in alveoli it is given in a small ball. So here there is a variation of pressure. So one is in 10 plus 10 plus 14 plus 12, like that way many pressures are different level in a different alveoli. So atmospheric pressure is a 760 mmHg. Okay. So due to the pressure changes, there is a airflow. Actually, if we know that usually pressure it will move from high pressure to lower pressure. Okay, that is airflow. We can easily say that airflow can be easily flow from higher pressure to lower pressure. So atmospheric pressure is higher pressure, inside the alveoli is lower pressure. Suddenly what happening? It is air is easily flowing into the alveoli. So these with the help of these concepts they are finding out the resistance, airway resistance. Okay, this method is called the pressure flow method. So here the pressure flow method is similar to the method of measuring compliance. So lung compliance we can measure, except the flow is plotted against the pressure difference between esophagus and the mouth. So we are not finding the pressure at the esophagus and mouth, we are finding the pressure only at the alveolar side. This method is a tedious method and also inconvenient method. So that's why we have to go for a interrupter techniques. Usually air resistance, we can say that the formula is a ratio of driving pressure to the rate of airflow. So that is a mathematical formula is a ratio of driving pressure to rate of airflow in a airways or airways path. So we are using next we are using interrupter techniques is based on assumption method. At a moment of air occultations. Occultation means it's a blocking. Any air blocks means the flow rate will be reduced. In that resistance will be very high. So this one kind of assumption we are making. When the flow rate is high means air resistance is less. So that is called assumption method. Okay. So here with the help of that one we are measuring the airway resistance. So air pressure in the mouth is equal to the alveolar pressure. Okay. So interrupter method, the basic assumption here is that when airflow is interrupted by a shutter, equalization of pressure occurs throughout the respiratory tract and equal to the alveolar pressure. That is not necessary true when airway resistance is very high. When airway resistance is very high, it is not true. So that's why this is also somewhat a less application. Okay. So you are seeing the graph. In the graph, y-axis mouth pressure is given in a Pascal and x-axis time. So during the time, each and every time of movement, what is the pressure in lungs? So they are measuring it here in from interrupt pressure. It has been going peak in short time. After that, its pressure is gradually decreases. After increasing, finally it is saturated. So this is you are seeing here. Okay, they have taken the time, that is amplitude. They have taken A and B, and time period also noted. First time period is a T occultation, second time period is a T naught, and T2, like that way it is going. Okay, and the C is mentioning that what that is saturated one, saturated air flow. So here the interrupter techniques, that is abbreviation is R suffix int, int is a quick method and easy method also, and effort is an independent way which is obtain the indirect measurement of airway resistance in a preschool child. Small child also we can measure it their airway resistance. So it gives a result. It may be obtained using a portable that is interrupt techniques machines, or else we can go for a whole body plethysmography. Whole body plethysmography is more convenient compared with the pressure flow method. Another one is interrupter method. So this is the plethysmography method. They are making the person to sit inside the chamber it is contains some pressure inside, and another one, so when they are asking to inhale forcefully, by that way there will be a flow changes, air flow changes in the lung. So they are measuring that airway resistance in all the paths from esophagus to up to the alveoli path. So that we can see it in the computer, that it will easily tell about the airway resistance. Also it will provide the lung capacity. So here this method is a choice of a resistance measurement airflow method. So the plethysmography method is a, we can measure total lung capacity and also airway resistance measurement. So here the alveolar pressures are obtained from pressure changes in the box. So they are obtaining the alveolar pressure from pressure changes in the box. So the airflow from a plethysmography, they can easily calculate the airway resistance. It requires the patient to pant rapidly. That is, they are pant rapidly means they are asking the patient to breathe in a quick manner, very quick manner. They are asking to breathe, and also exhaling will be the slow method. Okay. So and they have to take the air slowly, and that the expiratory flow rate may be kept at 0.5 liter per second or very less. So it can be related to the lung volume and the air resistance also. Plethysmography is related to lung volume and air resistance. Okay, here the air resistance RAV, which is equal to VL, the volume in the lungs, multiplied by RAW specific, that is called the specific airway resistance, which is simultaneously measured. One is lung volume as well as airway resistance, at which measurement is made with the specific resistance. So here we are going to see the plethysmography method, how they are finding out the air flow resistance. That is here they are inside the chamber, they are asking to pant. That is they are telling the patient to breathe in a short while, and that man is taking, that time the pressure they have been measured. After that, when it is reaching that one, that pressure inside the lung they are calling as a alveolar pressure, denoted by PA. So here the PA is varied from one area to another area. So here this is the total gas volume they have calculated, which is equal, that is the formula is that is TGV equal to V suffix P multiplied by partial PP, that is pressure divided by PA, that is alveolar pressure. So partial pressure in a chamber divided by alveolar pressure. So here with the help of that one, they are finding out the specific airway resistance, denoted by S RAW. So which is equal to Vp multiplied by del Pp divided by V. So from that they are finding out the specific air resistance, and finally they are finding that is S into air resistance divided by volume. So here the specific gas volume, which is equal to 1 divided by S into air resistance, and which is that is gas flow in alveolar, which is equal to 1 divided by R alveolar airway resistance. That is, here you see that one, here you are seeing that G, that is gas flow in alveolar, which is equal to 1 divided by airway resistance, that is R 1 divided by R suffix A W. That is it is inversely proportional. When airflow is increases, the resistance, that is airway resistance, is decreased. Okay, yeah. So we will see that what is that abbreviation over the formula. Here TGV is called the total volume, total gas volume, and PP is called the air pressure in a plethysmography chamber, and PA is called the air pressure in the alveoli, and PM is called the air pressure in the mouth, and VP is called the plethysmography cabin volume, and V is called mouth airflow, and S into R suffix AW is called specific airway resistance. R suffix AW is called airway resistance. That only we have to calculate. So S into G suffix AW is called specific airway conductance. That is called airflow. And G suffix AW is airway conductance. Here the airway conductance is inversely proportional to the airway resistance. That only it is shown in the formula. Okay, so this it indicates airflow is indirectly proportional to the airway resistance. So here that airway resistance test, they are taken into the two method. One is a open shutter phase method, another one is closed shutter phase method. Here this one is a open shutter phase. In an open place, with the help of small instrument, they are finding out the airway resistance. So here the open shutter phase is open with the open to determine the airway resistance. Next one is a closed shutter phase method. That is they are in a closed chamber or closed path, they are taking the airway resistance. Okay, it is pant with the shutter closed to measure volume minor V pant. It can be used to measure total gas flow volume. That is gas volume can be easily find out with the help of closed shutter phase. Now we will go to the some mathematical calculation in order to finding out the airway resistance. So here you are seeing the lungs. Okay, here first in esophagus, the air, that is called air pressure is that is 760 mmHg. That is it is given as P80M. That is atmospheric pressure is 760 mmHg. So when air is flowing inside the alveoli, that pressure rate will be changed. So alveoli pressure, one alveoli is having 760 mmHg, another alveoli is having 75 mmHg, another alveoli is having 730 mmHg. Okay, here in atmospheric pressure is higher, but here inside the alveoli pressure is very low. So due to the these phenomena, the always airflow is moved from higher pressure to lower pressure. With the help of this one, we can easily find out the airway resistance. So here the principle, diffusion principle is gas always move from higher pressure region to lower pressure region. So this is the formula, gas flow formula, which is equal to partial pressure, that is a differential pressure divided by resistance in its path. That is a differential pressure del P directly proportional to flow. When the differential pressure is increased, the flow of air also increases. When differential pressure is decreased, the flow of air is also decreases. So with the help of this one, we can easily tell that the resistance is inversely proportional to the airflow. So here you can see that, because we know that the differential pressure, when the here 760, 730, there is a differential pressure is what is 760 minus 730. That is a differential pressure del P. Okay, what is the airflow? So when you are finding out the airflow, you can easily find out the resistance. We will see the calculation. By that way we can, first we will take that atmospheric pressure at a esophagus. So esophagus, the atmospheric pressure what is the pressure changes. So pressure changes, will see that is called differential pressure. So 760 mmHg minus 760 mmHg in esophagus, which is equal to 0 mmHg. That means there is a no flow. Here as there is a no flow. That is F equal to del, that is a differential pressure divided by R, which is equal to 0. Here, okay. In 754 mmHg, what is the airflow? That is airflow is 760 minus 754, which is equal to 6 mmHg. The airflow is moderate here according to the formula. So another one, when airflow in a 730, what is the when pressure is 730 mmHg, what is the airflow? So pressure is 730 mmHg. The differential pressure is 760 mmHg minus 730 mmHg, which is equal to 30 mmHg. That means flow rate will be increased. Here flow rate will be increased. So with the help of this one, we can easily identify the calculation. That's why the resistance in trachea is having less airflow, and Borangi, that pressure is increased, and Borangioles, it's having pressure is increased, and terminal Borangioles pressure is increased. Okay, that means airflow in trachea is lower one, and Borangi is a moderate one, and Borangiole is higher flow, and terminal of bronchioles is very higher. So we'll see that. So what we can say, the trachea, in the trachea, that airflow is less, and in bronchis airflow is moderate, and bronchioles the airflow is increased, and terminal bronchioles and airflow is high. So what is indicating, when airflow is high, the resistance is very less in air path. So that is airway resistance very lower in terminal bronchioles. You see the diagram, you can easily understand. And here what is in trachea, what is the resistance? Resistance is somewhat high. In bronchioles it is having peak. And in bronchus it is resistance have been increased. After that resistance will be decreased. After that it is decreased. In bronchioles the resistance very less, and terminal bronchioles the resistance are very low. So that is indicating the flow rate increases, the airway resistance is decreases. That is the meaning of this graph. So here the volume is given in the lung volume given in x-axis and resistance in y-axis. So here, so when the lung volume increases, what is happening? Resistance is decreased. So lung volume decreases, resistor is increased. So with the help of this one, the respiratory inhaling, exhaling have been done with this concept. So here asthma, what is in the bronchioles size? It is very smaller one. In another that is called emphysema, that is the bronchio is so one is correct size, another one is very shrink one, and another this is the normal one. Okay, bronchioles size must be a proper one. Okay, when it is shrink, so the air resistance will be increased. Okay, so this is that we can see that the effect of autonomic nervous on airway resistance. So here the and which has in two kind of nervous system which can simulated in our brain. One is a parasympathetic simulation, another one is sympathetic simulation. In parasympathetic simulation, what is happening? It is as the respiratory system to vary the pressure. Okay, so these all things are due to the mechanism which is related with the